Have you ever had something on your to-do list that you know would make you so incredibly happy, but you just keep putting it off? Yeah, that would be me right now. So basically, 1.5 to 2 years ago, I did a video where I carved my art into stamps. And back then, I was a really broke artist, so this is what. I pretty much only bought this little cutter tool here, and then I got material to carve into the stamps.
However,
I did not get like the proper inks or the proper tools beyond that or whatever. I just made do with what I had. So fast forward to today, we're gonna do this again, but a little differently. So first, let's go on a little adventure to Blix. So I knew I specifically wanted to get the proper paper and the proper inks for block printing, because that's technically what this is called. So I went to the block printing aisle. I pretty much stood in the aisle for about 30 minutes trying to decide what it was that I wanted to get, did some Googling and everything, and then I came up with a color scheme and some supplies. Well, we got everything and some other things that I didn't really need, but let's go home, make some stamps. Oh, I am so excited. And now we are back with our supplies, plus some things that we did not need. Okay, actually plus some things that we did need, because I've been doing a lot of giant paintings lately, and I was out of a lot of paint colors and vine charcoal. That's besides the point. Anyway, so the first thing I got was this Speedball 4-inch rubber brayer, and it basically puts ink onto your block printed stuff. So I've actually done this in high school, and I think this is the same brayer that we used to use in class. So that's why I grabbed it. It seemed like the safest bet for me. The next thing I got, I don't know how to pronounce this thing. It says Baron Froton Tapet. Baron Froton Baron Froton Tapet. That's how I'm gonna say it. It basically spreads your ink evenly when you like put it on paper. You'll see it all in action. You'll see it all in action. Here's the beautiful paper that we got. Something that I bought is missing. Let me see if I actually got it. So now on to the good stuff. These here are the carving blocks for block printing, and I decided to get the pink ones this time just to try something different and have fun. So we have 3 different sizes of these carving blocks. And then here's this weird little plastic spreader. I don't know if I'll need it, but I got it just to be safe. Now, my favorite part of all of this are the colors that I chose. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to get as far as colors went, but I know that most of the time I use pinks, yellows, greens, and blues. So I went with that, and I think it'll go well. And then I got brown and white just for other decisions too. Oh, also I meant to get a 1.5-inch brayer as well, but I must have just like looked at it and not actually put it in my basket. We'll make do with what we have. That's what we always do. Anyway, I just wanted to show you everything real quick. However, we have stamps to carve, so no time to waste. So the first thing we're gonna need to do is lay down this massive mat here. And this is for like X-Acto knives and blades and stuff, so my desk doesn't get ruined, because we don't want that. One side of this mat is actually this fake looking wood, so I think we're gonna roll with that. So about a month and a half ago, I said that my channel would be changing directions a little bit. And basically what I've been doing lately is just diving into things that make me happier. And I am really excited to jump into this for that reason. So I hope you enjoy this. We're just gonna experiment together. So for this part of the process, you can either draw directly onto this material or draw on tracing paper and transfer it over. I prefer drawing on it just because the feeling is kind of cool. Next, I'm going to trim the edges so there's less carving involved. And then we're going to do the most satisfying part, carving out our stamp. Now, I personally love this part just because seeing all these little shreds come off of this piece to form a picture is so rewarding. Not only that, but this whole sensory experience does end up being extremely therapeutic. However, you have to be super careful because you can get cut really badly if you don't do this correctly. So make sure you cut away from yourself and keep your hands far away from this tool, because if it slips, trust me, it'll hurt really, really bad. I've done it before. Now, I also feel like this is the most time-consuming part of the project, and there isn't much to show for it, except for a pile of shreds. But that's okay. It's enjoyable. Once we get near the end, I switch to a smaller attachment so that I can do the finer details, like these teeth and little wrinkles in the skin, stuff like that. It works out pretty well. Okay, we just finished it, and this is how it's looking right now. Now we're moving on to the fun stuff though, because swipe this out of the way. It is time to do the actual block printing part. We're gonna get our paper at the ready. Now you can see this paper is 9 by 12. It's pretty big, and I decided to go with smaller prints because this is my first time actually doing the inks and stuff at home. As I said, I've done this in high school, but I just wanted to start small. Do you wanna see something really satisfying? Doesn't this look like bubble gum? Just don't eat it. We don't need another bad YouTube challenge.
Anyway.
Let's continue. All right, so I'm gonna take a piece of this paper, just cut it in half. And now for the fun part, our glass palette. I doubt we'll need very much ink. Ugh, this one is a weird consistency. So what we're gonna do is take this brayer here and roll it into the ink and then make our print. Okay, so next we're gonna take this guy here and roll him with our little brayer. I like that word, brayer. Trying to avoid the eye because I want to do a different color for the eye. Now to do the eye, I'm just going to take this really old like makeup brush and hope for the best. We're doing a hot pink eye. So now I think what I'm supposed to do, I might be doing this backwards, but this is how I want to do it. I don't have a printing press, you know? So I'm just gonna go like this and use this little, what do you call it? Hold on. A Baron. Yeah. We're using our buddy Baron here. Boom. I bet he packs a punch. The lady at Blix told me this thing works wonders. It's like really amazing because she does printmaking. So I'm trusting her. Let's see what happened. Wait, I feel like I need to do it again for just good luck, you know? Moment of truth. Oh, he's cute. I like it. I feel like I needed to use more ink though, so we're gonna do it again. Here's another piece of paper. Ooh, it's gonna be crooked. I dropped it crooked. Too late, too late, too late. Let's just go. All right, ready? Don't judge how crookedly I did this. Oh my goodness, this one is way better. I like it. It is so cute. Now I'm sure I could drop the stamp onto the paper and do it that way, but we have another thing to carve, so I think I'll try the alternative method on the next one. Also, I kind of just love how this little monster looks with the pink stamp material. It's so cool. All right, you've already seen one of these in this video, so you know the drill. We're gonna draw stuff out, except this time it is gonna be way more detailed than the other one. We're taking it up a notch and seeing what we can do with a bunch of peonies. These are one of my favorite flowers in the spring, so I thought it would be fun to do a floral bouquet. Now carving this one was a super tedious process because there were so many leaves and flower petals and just so many different lines. And then halfway through this, I decided the leaves needed little veins and everything. So I really went all out with this one. Honestly, I think my favorite part is just carving all the negative space away from the edges. It's just so fun, and you can take off huge chunks. All right, we finished the next one, and this is how it looks. It probably looks like chaos right now, but it's gonna look like a bunch of peonies later, and I think that's really sweet. I am definitely in my pajamas now because I've been carving this all day. With that being said, I think it is time to stamp this one. We have more paper. We'll probably do a couple tries on this. And I was thinking of doing like multiple colors for this one, but now I'm kind of thinking of doing something else, so stay tuned. By the way, I am a super huge fan of this Baron, whatever. It's just a nice tool. Poop, I forgot to rinse this off. All right, the little brayer has been washed. Now, I wanna do something fancy and kind of like mix a couple colors. We'll see what happens. Guess I should dry this off, I just washed it. Let's hope I don't make a big mistake here. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, I could do like a tie-dye thing. Actually, I'm gonna mix it and do this coral color. I kind of need to cover the brayer. It is definitely not fully mixed, but I am digging this. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is like put the ink on this and then flip it this way this time. We'll compare. We'll see. No big deal if it doesn't work. We can try again. Oh, this is so stinking cool. All right, I'm making it like fade over to yellow. Oh, this is sweet. I'm just gonna try to center this like right here. Our little friend is gonna help us out. I have a feeling this is not the way to do it. Yeah, this doesn't glide. We should have done it the other way. I think I should flip it over. This little dude just does not glide on the other side. Let's see what happens. Oh my word. I did not expect it to turn out like this. That is so stinking cool. Let's do another one. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness. I think this one turned out better than the first one. It's just a little more crisp. Wow, okay, so this peony one was definitely my favorite to make. It was just fun playing with the gradients and doing something a little bit more detailed. And I feel like this one pertains to my personality a lot more than the little monster, even though I really love cute little monsters like that. But I definitely think this one was more like a warm-up to get ready for this one here. I really enjoyed doing this. Honestly, it was just so fun to bring this series back because it had been such a long time. And as I said, I'm just doing stuff that makes me feel happier lately. Ooh, I shouldn't be waving around prints that are like drying. Hold on. Anyway, as I said, it just feels so good to be doing the things that make me feel super happy and creatively fulfilled lately. And I think just weird stuff like printmaking and also just going back to my roots with these giant paintings. It just feels great, and I'm really enjoying the stuff that I'm making lately on my channel. So I hope you're enjoying it too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. We have something really fun planned and I can't wait to show you. All right, bye.